You were the only one who ever said about Hubert Humphrey that he would make a great wife. Do you remember reading that? I never quite understood that, but I sure think... Maybe
well, he talked too much in Chicago, but he wasn't effective, I don't think. And I like Hubert. I think he's a fine man and a nice guy.
So the only one who ever saw him as a wife, I expect.
I think he could have been elected if it hadn't been for that mayor in Chicago. That guy was no good. They were hitting children and booting them and kicking them.
Yeah.
Disgraceful. And it was a sad part of America. I hope we're not going to see much more of that.
We will...
like binding down the universities. I don't approve of that either. You know, there's two sides of this thing. The students have a right to be heard, and the faculty also has a right to be heard, too.
Right.
And since you went to the University of Yale, I was thrown out of the hotel in New Haven. I had a girl with me at the time who was living at another hotel. And the hotel didn't see eye to eye with this.
They frowned on what you were doing?
They didn't approve of it. Now, today, I don't think it would bother anybody.
No, they'd let you stay a day and then throw you out. It was
kind of sad. She walked up 7 flights of stairs to get to my room because she didn't want anybody to see her get in the elevator.
Of course not.
And she's a very nice girl, but they eventually threw her out. Because I had pigeons in the room. Did I ever tell you that?
No, pigeons? I'm sure I'd have remembered.
Well, this room had French doors that opened this way.
Yeah.
And it was around the 7th floor, I think. And the pigeons kept flying into the room. You know, like they do in New York on windowsills. I don't know if they do it here anymore like they used to. And I was trying to make love to this girl, and a pigeon was biting my ear. I thought it was her. And I was encouraged by this, but... So the girlfriend, she says, "Get those pigeons out of here." I said, "I have no control over these pigeons. I don't even live here in New Haven. I didn't know one pigeon of this whole gang out there." So I called downstairs, and I got to 2 hotel dicks. You know what they are?
Yeah.
Detectives.
Hotel detectives.
Yes, and they came up, and apparently they were accustomed to this, because they come up, and they didn't say anything about the girl or the pigeons or anything else. They took off their coats.
Right.
They opened the door to the hall, and then they waved their coats, and all the pigeons went out into the hall and disappeared. I don't know. May have gone to another room. I don't know where they went to. But that was one of the saddest affairs I ever had in my life.
But it's one of the best pigeon stories I've ever heard.
Well, it's a true story, too. Yes.
That's terrific.
I got to know those pigeons very well.
You wrote a book called Beds, and I wish it were still in
Beds.
print. It's one of the funniest things I've ever read, and it's very hard to find the book.
Yes, it is a kind of a collector's item now. You know, it was written 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I also wrote a book called Groucho and Me, Memoirs of a Mangy Lover. That was about me. I had the pigeons in mind at that time. I wrote a very funny book called Many Happy Returns.
Yeah.
About the taxes. But the day that book came out with Simon & Schuster, war was declared in the Pacific. And nobody bought a book about taxes, and you know, it wasn't it wasn't very democratic or very patriotic. With the 3,500 sailors drowning in Pearl Harbor there.
And it was the same day.
A funny book, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want the book anyhow, but it's a funny. Did you ever read it?
No, but I'd be glad to.
I'll send you a copy.
Would you?
I think I have a copy. Yeah.
All right. Great.
So
we have to pause, and we'll be back. You mind? Groucho, thank you for being here. I think that
it was a pleasure.
In all time.
You want to shake hands?
I just want to shake hands. Yes, I think that one person got to be Groucho Marx, and you're the one, and you're very lucky, and we're lucky, and we'll see you again. Thank you. See you Monday.
We invite you to join us again Monday night for the Dick Cavett Show. Good night.